What up, Junkies? Welcome back to another episode of Culture Junkies Live. I'm your host, Kenshiro. Today, obviously, you see from the title card, we're going to be talking about the crossover that just ended, Elseworlds, which was a pretty hype crossover, but we're going to talk about the Easter eggs and the upcoming Crisis on Infinite Earths that was just announced yesterday at the end of the show. We're also going to talk about Aquaman and its opening in China and how it bodes well. The Rotten Tomatoes score is out. What do we think is going to be happening with that movie? We're also going to talk about the Game Awards 2018 that happened last week Thursday, and kind of the big winners, the big losers, the announcements that came on, so on and so forth. But let me introduce who's going to be the show with me today. First and foremost, the dapper one, Mr. GQ. How you doing, brother?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Enjoying the week so far.
Good. This week so far, ha 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 ha. Throwback. Also joining the show is Mr. the Great Daidakuji. What's up, bro?
Hey, everybody. I just got one question for you. How she get so swole?
What is that? That Dragon Ball thing that you posted earlier today? Is that what it
was
is?
Freaking hilarious.
I didn't get to watch that. So yeah, I didn't get to watch that.
Ass off.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch that, so I don't know what that's.
You should know how she got so swole.
Sure. Okay, I'll take your word for it. Anyway, everybody, if you're checking us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, we want to welcome you to the show today. LGZ is going to be joining us on the show. Fallen Marvel is going to be joining us on the show later as well. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. First and foremost, let's start with the Game Awards that came on last week Thursday, excuse me. Obviously, the big winner for Game of the Year was God of War, and a lot of people, I don't want to say they weren't really surprised, because I think it was a neck and neck. It was either going to be God of War or Red Dead Redemption, and the exclusive God of War for Sony took home the prize. The one that kind of got snubbed, I think a lot of people would say, is Spider-Man. It was up for a lot of awards, a lot of nominations, and it lost every single one. But I want you guys to just run through the list. What did you guys think of the Game Show Awards last week? Who won, who lost, who you wanted to win, so on and so forth. What's your comments?
Well, I mean, honestly, Game of the Year, God of War, I mean, it works. It was a system seller. It was a good game. Came out at the right time, I guess. Didn't have a lot of competition around it. It's an exclusive game, so I mean, I think it's interesting to see an exclusive game win over a multi-plat game, because then that means that game really transcended everything else out there and got people's attention specifically to move towards one particular system or another system. So in this case, God of War, took it home. And I think that's actually pretty interesting. Red Dead, although it's a great game, it came out super, later in the year. People, a lot of people loved it and all this other great stuff, and it had a lot of great accolades and everything. But at the end of the day, just because you come out at the end of Oscar season does not mean that just, being fresh in everybody's mind means you're going to snag that Oscar. It's not a guaranteed thing. So God of War just was basically the better game this time around.
Okay, I mean, and I don't think anyone's going to knock that God of War wasn't an excellent game. I haven't played it yet, but I'm very much eager to play it, and I know everybody really, really loved it. God of War took the big title, but Red Dead Redemption 2 also came up really big, I think, on a lot of awards. But were you surprised that Spider-Man kind of got snubbed? A little bit, like not winning anything. I mean, like, it didn't win anything. Are you surprised that it didn't win anything?
I mean, it's shocking that it didn't win anything. It's a great game, but if you really, really break it down, it is a perfect version of Spider-Man 2. So we've already seen it before in some form. So it's already we've already had it before. And some people like Spider-Man, some people don't. So you have to look at that aspect of it too. It's weird that it didn't win anything at all, but again, these are popularity contests. They're not necessarily based on anything with any true criteria. So,
I mean, but isn't the Game Awards more of an industry award? I don't think it's really like a popularity contest. Would you? I mean, really? Do you think it's more just a popularity contest? Because it's not like its fans are voting on it.
In any recent time, when has the industry done anything that actually makes a lot of sense from
I mean,
from a critical standpoint versus, oh, this game is hot. Let's hype it up.
right. I mean, I guess so. I understand that part. Understand the logic of that. Sure. I don't know. I don't really see it uh, as a popularity contest. I thought it was more, it's not like it's the teen awards or something like that where it's definitely a popularity contest. But
Didn't Fortnite win something?
Fortnite won a lot. I think it won best online game. I think for sure, and that was a no brainer to me. I knew Fortnite was going to win. Best online game. There's no way.
I think that's kind of saying it is a popularity contest because Fortnite is popular.
Yeah, and but look at what it was up against.
It's good, but it's extremely popular.
But look at what it was up against. It was basically up against Overwatch, Destiny, and some of the, I think I don't think PUBG was nominated, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was. But when you look at it like that, comparing Fortnite, Overwatch and PUBG, Overwatch has been out for a few years. It's not what it used to be. Destiny, yeah, it's popular, but I don't think anybody ever, said it was like the most, most played game. But Fortnite is the most played game. It's free to play and stuff like that. So I guess when you look at it like that, I still don't see it as a popularity contest. I think they're just giving it an award for acknowledging that it definitely is the most popular game that's out there.
It's definitely a popularity contest because, okay, let's be real. You just said Overwatch has been out for a few years. Destiny, same thing, basically. So why is Fortnite, which is a brand new game, going up against these old head games that have been out and have had their chance? So in other words, if it was a true critical, breakdown of if this game is technically a good game, why is it good, blah, 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 then you would actually have it going up against things that are in its genre from this year only, just like the Oscars. And it's not doing that. It's a popularity contest.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Plain and simple, man.
All right. Well, what else? What of the other awards that you liked? What game that you wanted to win? Anything that didn't win? Dido Kuji, like what did you see off the stream that you saw that you kind of wanted to win? Like some of these other games, like one of the winners of what was that indie game? There was one of them. I think you were a fan of it too. The Messenger.
I haven't. Well, you got Celeste and the Messenger.
Celeste, that was it. Celeste was the other one. Yeah, that was it.
2 games that came out during my my game buying freeze, and so I didn't play one of them. But that Celeste is definitely in my list to be buying once I see it on a good sale. And same thing with the Messenger, because I do like them indie games, and I kind of like them throwback, 16-bit / kind of 32-bit 2D games, because we sure didn't get a lot of 32-bit 2D games, and we're getting that style now, and I don't hate it. I pretty much like it, so I look forward to them. And I mean, I don't really know how many independent games are out there. There's many, many, many. For them to pick Celeste being the best one, and that, I guess it's saying something. But again, it could be like, I think there's another independent game called Iconoclast, which is another 2D Metroidvania style, pixel art game. And I don't even know what the what do you call it? Not the categories, but the all the nominees were. But I wonder if that was in there. I mean, I've seen quite a bit of independent stuff that has come out recently. I could assume that the Bloodstained Circle of the Moon was an independent title, being the fact that Igarashi, though he has worked for big companies, is not working for a big company, and it's independent. That wasn't put in there. I mean, just Celeste is probably the most well-known out of all the independent games, so that's basically where you can go off on. So independent popularity still.
Right. So let's see, what did they say in the chat? Let's see. Super Smash Brothers, Johnny Patton's asking, so Super Smash Brothers was simply too late the award party? I mean, yeah, it kind of just came out. It was late to the award party. You can't, necessarily award it for something, that literally just came out. I mean, even as hype as Smash is, I mean, come on, you can't really put that in there.
Well, yeah. Why would he even say that? Didn't this air last week?
Yeah, like the next day after our show
came out Friday, like last Friday.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how is Smash going to even be nominated when it wasn't even available?
Right. No, I hear you. I want to say what's up to Brian Cannon. How you doing, sir? Welcome to the show over on Facebook. Fallen Marvel says Smash is definitely a popular game, but it was rather late. It'll definitely be there next year, and I expect it to take Best Fighting Game. Now, Dragon Ball FighterZ took Best Fighting Game, and I don't think anybody was really surprised to see that. Were you?
No.
Was that?
I missed what you said. I apologize. I was at family barbecue.
No,
this guy.
Were you surprised by it? What other fighting game came out this year?
I mean, Tekken was on the list. Soul Calibur 6 was on the list as well.
Well, yeah. Then I think it could be because it's not, again, going by technical stand. I mean, Dragon Ball Z, from what the 5 minutes that I played, it did seem like it's pretty cool. It is the best Dragon Ball Z fighting game that I've ever seen. Period. Because I was going through some of these things, and they got this piece of shit right here is a Dragon Ball Z fighting game for Game Boy Advance, and the same thing as this piece of shit is a Dragon Ball Z for Game Boy Advance.
Why are you showing them knockoffs, man?
That's not a knockoff. This is the knockoff. The rest of them were legit.
What was that? Super Pototen for the Saturn.
Yeah, well, all of
them.
Oh,
dude, that was terrible. That was absolutely terrible.
Absolutely. I've never played, in my honest opinion, a good Dragon Ball Z fighting game. Now, there's people out there have different opinions. Until now. So it is an amazing game, but it went up against Tekken, which has been around forever. Soul Calibur, which is, again, you got Tekken 7, Soul Calibur 6. Not saying that they're not good, not great games, but 7 and 6, meaning we've been here before, and this is the first Dragon Ball Z. So I can see why it could win that, because it's like, as that cliche, breath of fresh air. Type.
Well, not only that, Street Fighter V Arcade Edition technically came out this year, but putting that on the list is like, okay, Street Fighter V's already been out for 2 years prior. So, putting that up against new stuff doesn't make any sense. Same thing like Dido said, Tekken 7, I think, came out last year, if I remember right, late last year. And then, then you got, obviously Soul Calibur 6 did drop this year, but it wasn't going to be Dragon Ball. There's no way. It was a good game. It's decent. It's watered down in some instances, but Dragon Ball was going to destroy that one. On the IP alone, and then the fact that it finally does what everybody's been waiting for a Dragon Ball game to do. So there wasn't too much surprise on that one. Then like you got stuff like Forza Horizon winning for sports racing.
Winning sports, man. Oh my god, that was so annoying. I couldn't believe it.
But here's the thing. I don't really mind. It's like if they should have. Here's the problem. What does Forza go up against?
NBA 2K, FIFA,
Pro. I'm talking about as a game. Forza, from what I understand, because Gran Turismo I haven't heard from in years. So Forza seems to be the only racing game right now. So why even bother putting it in for an award? That doesn't make any sense. It's like you're the only participant.
Yeah, you're the standalone racing game. Like, come on,
now. You have an election and there's one candidate.
Right? Absolutely.
So that's what, like I said, the structure of the awards is weird, and they need to. Again, nobody knows exactly how the Oscars are scored, but they need to treat it a little bit more like the Oscars in the sense of you put like stuff against like stuff,
like against like.
Right. Yeah, you don't be digging back into the archives trying to figure out something just to populate the nominees, because it's like, you have super new stuff going against stuff that's been around for a year or more.
Right.
That don't make much sense to me.
And it definitely
I hear you.
Most definitely.
I hear you. Now, a lot of people in the chat are actually debating about what were like some of the better Dragon Ball fighting games. I mean, like now, people are talking about Legends. Like, Legends was a great game, but you can't say that was a fighting game. I mean, not in the traditional sense. Sure, you could battle back and forth, and it had, it was pretty fun. It was the most Dragon Ball-like at the time, I think, when it came out. Dragon Ball Legends was, and I'd still contend that it was a hell of a lot of fun. But yeah, I don't think of that as a fighting game at all.
In all honesty, to me, like a lot of people have said it, Final Bout was one of the best until.
Which one's Final Bout?
Final Bout was the one on PS1.
Remember that one on PS1 that's worth so much money if you got the original? When it
Yeah.
came out over
GT
here?
one, right?
Yeah. The one that
And
I
don't
actually
remember that being
imported.
good.
Yeah, it was.
I remember GT,
it was okay.
You bought it
Yeah.
back in the day.
No, I imported it, and I used to bring it over to Will's house, and we used to play it all the time.
I don't recall that game being good at all.
The best thing about it was the fact that it captured the fireball fighting and the ability to go fireball.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Either way it goes, that game is valuable.
Very valuable,
anymore, dude. It was valuable because they actually re-released it, and you couldn't tell the difference.
Oh, why they do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
They have two different instruction books.
Like, I'm looking on price charting right now because I was checking out these stupid GBA games that I have in front of me, and I can pull it up. Dragon Ball Z Final or GT Final Bout on here. Because one was the regular one and one was the Atari re-release. It says if it's brand new in the packaging, you can get supposedly 59. 33.
Come on, who's gonna have it in the packaging at this point? Come on now.
Some people complete in box is $14.11. That's apparently what it's been selling for. So it dropped, and that's the original release. And then the Atari re-release. You're right about that. They did change the cover on it because it has Super Saiyan 4 Goku on it instead of just Goku regular. That one is actually supposedly going for more at $16.82 complete in box or complete in whatever they call it. So that game, it dropped a lot. People stopped caring, I guess, since they started releasing so many Dragon Ball games. It's like, remember how things used to be rare? It's because like if you didn't get them, you know, and they released a small quantity, and they did release a small quantity with the first release.
Yeah, I remember walking in the media play buying that on general principle. It's like, oh, what? Wow. That was an instant buy because I actually liked that game. It was fun.
Yeah, I remember you guys playing it. It just looked slow. It's like it reminded me of
it was
like some early PlayStation 1 just fighting game that was just like, yeah, okay.
That's because that's what it was.
Right.
I don't know. Was it early or was it like midlife?
I mean, it was.
Oh yeah.
PlayStation was not the best 3D fighter in the 3D platform in the world anyway.
No, not in the world, but at the time it was really good. I mean, dude, look at Tekken 3. Tekken 3 looks fucking amazing.
Tobal 2 is still pretty cool.
Without a doubt. But Dragon Ball, for the way that Dragon Ball game played, was pretty damn good for its time.
Yeah.
I guess. It's same thing with like Toshinden and some other titles.
Hey, we should fire those up and just play those once in a while.
The bad fight.
Yeah, just to remember.
I might end up loading them up with my PlayStation Classic.
Hey, you can do that.
Hack that boy. Yeah, man. Now you talking. Now remember this. Hey, I don't know if you guys remember this, but the geek over on Twitch, right, on Twitter, he's watching us, right? He says he remembers the DBZ game that was supposed to run on the old Unreal Engine. It was like a fan edit that they made. Dido, you remember that? I remember them talking about it. It was like it was going to be the first open world Dragon Ball. They had like rendered Kami's lookout and stuff like that, and even the desert. You could like power up in the middle of it. It was actually really kind of cool.
I got a vague memory or something, but I'm not 100% sure.
It never came out. It never came out like the developers
I think that's what I remember.
Yeah,
and it did look interesting for me because
it looked really cool.
I'm a weirdo when it comes to certain video games, and I'm not a big fan of a lot of licensed video games, anime or otherwise, because for the majority of them, they're just not good. Some people may have fun with them, and that's good that you had some fun with them. But I just I look at my collection and the licensed video games that I have that I was planning on getting rid of in the first place. I do have Dragon Ball Z Budokai, and people like Budokai. I just didn't. And then I have like Jump Stars, which I just don't know how you play that game. I really don't know. I'm like, but it's just like, to each their own. Right. I probably could go through it and find a licensed game that I would say, it's good, like Batman for the NES and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Right. I mean, we can debate whether Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is actually good now.
Well, it depends on which one you're talking about.
Right. All right. So let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about some of the announcements that came out of the Game Awards. And first up, Mike Riley is actually watching us on Facebook, and he brought it up. So let's talk about Mortal Kombat 11 and that 21 Savage song. Like, it was cool seeing the cinematic, and then they throw that 21 Savage song in the middle of it, and it was like, okay, what is this? And GQ. No, go ahead.
Yeah.
You talk about it.
No,
Talk about
to me that was trash. Like the first thing
it was complete trash.
The first thing I did is I downloaded the trailer and put Imagine Dragons' "Believer," the instrumental, in there in its place because I couldn't stand that music. I'm like, what is this trash, man? It takes you right out. It's like you feeling like the whole mode they set in, and then you go into this goofy mumble rap song, and I'm like,
absolutely, like, it was terrible.
What does this have to do with Scorpion and Raiden throwing down? Like,
right?
Dumb.
Yeah, it was bad.
That's the thing. Like it's like a lot of the marketing nowadays is getting really, really, really stupid. Like, just
my gosh, see, you old school marketer. I know it because I was there when you were doing your whole marketing campaign and getting that degree. But because you old head, and don't take that as a insult, we all old heads. The new heads or the young crowd, young kids, that's the shit that they like. Why? I don't know, but they do. Just like all the Fortnite dances.
They don't have no appreciation of good music.
They can have all that, but anybody that likes mumble rap can choke on their own vomit and die.
I'm not real, dude. I'm not gonna freaking like disagree with you because I'm not a fan of it. But granted, this is Mortal Kombat 11 as they call it, and I wouldn't see why they're trying to. I mean, maybe they're trying to pull in the young crowd, but most people who play video games know about Mortal Kombat. It's one of those franchises that if you play video games, even remotely, not even talking like hardcore like us, even like if you play it like very casually, you know of Mortal Kombat because it made waves in the video game world for, years, right? So I agree with you that maybe they shouldn't use that music, but somebody in their marketing firm is not as old as us and listens to that crap and thinks it would pull people in.
Well, because
they got people talking about it, and it's to get people to talk about your stuff.
No, I understand it, but what I'm saying is because the last one they used somebody else that mumble raps last year. I forgot his name. I forgot his name. What's the dude that calls himself an alien all the damn time?
An alien?
Yeah, he's got the dreads.
They all seemingly have dreads.
Yeah. Anyway, either way it goes, that's who they used last. Not the same person, but they used a mumble rap dude last year, so they're doing a mumble rap dude this year. And to me, it's like if you have a game that has a particular tone to it, because Mortal Kombat, as we all know, is basically Enter the Dragon, but super duper violent, because that's basically what they put together. And you started off with like this whole, mysticism and then, a thunder god throwing down with a dead specter. And then you immediately jump into this mumble rap song. And the only reason you use the song mainly is because I think you name dropped Liu Kang or something in the song. I'm like, this takes me right out of it. Now, granted, it's a fighting game. I'm going to get it anyway.
Right.
And like you said, it's not marketed towards me. But at the same time, like you said, Mortal Kombat's a pretty well-known IP. I'm trying to figure out who exactly they are marketing it to, because, dude, it's weird, man.
It was bad. Really it was really bad. All right, so another announcement that came out was Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3: The Black Order, which is Switch exclusive. Oh, that really hurt me to hear that. It was
I think it's a time exclusive.
You think it's a time? I mean, I hope so, but it really hurt. Because, man, I want to play it, and that's almost making me say I got to buy a Switch just to play
I want to say something that sounds really insulting, and I want to try to put it in my back memory so it doesn't come out like that. But stop being a little bee and pony up and buy a Switch. Nintendo Switch is actually a really good system, not only because a lot of people have given up on Nintendo, but they've been around for over 30 years. They have yet to make a bad game on their own. And a lot of stuff that you like in classics are there. And I guarantee you, if you sat down with The Legend of Zelda, the new one, you'd be like, holy fucking shit. But besides that, remember I said about all those independent and those 2D style games? If you like those, which I don't know if you do, they are abundant, as they are on all the other systems, of course. But the best part of it is that you take it with you. You can take it with you and you could pop it in there, and they're bringing out games that people did not think could run on this system, because Doom runs on a Switch. Granted, it doesn't look as good as Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. There are some kind of, but they also released it. I think it came out last year, a new patch that improved the graphics and the frame rate. And I'm just like, how the heck are they doing this? It's a good system. Seriously. Like, that's basically all I got to say. So it's like, if it is a exclusive forever and you want to play the game, you're not losing out by buying a Switch. You gain something by buying a Switch, as you do for almost any video game system. I'll gaining.
Sure, I'll take your word for it.
Well, you can all day long.
I'll take your word for it. But no,
you can just sit there and like, oh my gosh, I wish I could play this game. Please come out on the PlayStation.
You mean like all those people that are mad that they couldn't play God of War because it's God of War?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess because I'm not that type of person that just buys
or all them people that are
that you made the wrong decision.
All those people that are mad that they couldn't play Spider-Man because
I guess there might be people out there. I'm not one of them, because like if I want to play a game, I play the game because I own the system, and I don't complain about not being able to play the game. I'm just like,
well, you know who else made out pretty good this this Game Awards was BioWare, because they announced the demo for Anthem is going to be coming next month to pre-order customers, but they also announced Dragon Age 4, which is going to be something pretty cool. Fallen Marvel's getting ready to join the show. He's getting ready to hop in so we can get some of his thoughts on the Game Awards and stuff. So, the Fallen Marvel, what did you think of the Game Awards, and were there any surprises to you?
First of all, hey, what's up, everybody? Second, unfortunately, I didn't see the entire Video Game Awards because honestly, I forgot it was coming on. But from what I did watch, I think it was okay. I think part of the reason why I didn't watch, because like when they announced that the Russo brothers were supposed to announce an award or whatever, like I thought they were gonna like drop the Avengers
trailer.
So, like, I immediately stopped watching.
Everybody did.
But overall, I thought it was an okay show. I am a little sad that Spider-Man got snubbed for every category.
Every single award, yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was okay. Mortal Kombat 11, the announcement of it was cool. I'm pretty much in consensus that like the song choice was absolute garbage. So, because that completely, once again, it completely took me out the trailer, like you guys said, and it was just, it's funny because like they pretty much like downgraded from Wiz Khalifa to this, and it's like I'm not even the biggest Wiz Khalifa fan, but the song that they chose was actually pretty decent, and it flowed with the trailer a lot good. I mean, pretty good, and you get this. I mean, call me Bird Dog because I cheat and I'm fly. Like, what the fuck what does that have to do with Mortal Kombat? What does that have to do with Scorpion and Raiden? Please tell me.
No, I hear you.
I'm sorry, like that.
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you, man.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Is monotone. Like anybody that basically gets on the microphone and sound like they're completely reading off the paper while they're recording the song, that's a problem with me. So
right. Yeah.
But I digress. Overall, the show I thought it was okay, but
yeah. No, I hear you.
I'm gonna come up with a mumble rap album by next week.
Man, don't do that. Don't do that, man. don't do that, man.
It'll take me about a week to record 14 or maybe so tracks of mumble rap. Yeah, I'll just start reading the phone book or something.
You know,
4 bars and just be elongated words that don't even need to be stretched out.
Yeah, a couple of bird sound effects, maybe sound of like a chicken in the background or something. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 1 hit next week. I'm telling you.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so so the news kind of broke before we started the show, and I wanted to address it a little bit. The continuing saga of the Marvel and Netflix divorce. Obviously, the Punisher season 2 trailer hit today. I still haven't watched it yet. I'm sure it's pretty good. But everybody knows that as soon as that season is over, like a week later, it's getting canceled. And Jessica Jones, which has also yet to air, as soon as it's done, it's getting canceled. But the news that, you know, that, well, the Punisher is on a different deal, but Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Daredevil, they're subject to the initial deal for the Marvel Netflix shows. And it turns out now that after they were canceled, you're prevented from any new productions starring these characters for at least 2 years. This is excruciating to a lot of people, but GQ says don't get your panties in a bunch. It's actually a good thing. So why don't you explain why you think it's a good thing?
Well, let's see. They're going back to one of the most powerful media conglomerates in the world, and 2 years to them is nothing. You guys might be all clamoring for more Daredevil, more Luke Cage, more whatever. Let's put it into perspective. We waited 10 years to get a perfect Infinity War movie, and that's what we got. So I have zero problem waiting. That'll give them plenty of time to get their streaming service up, get their numbers up. They've got the money to put these things into production. Nobody said they have to wait 2 years to start working on the plan of what it is that they're going to do, what they're going to film, who they're going to cast, if they're going to use the same people. So, I mean, they announced Netflix is like, oh, you can't use it for 2 years. Okay, we got more than 2 years worth of programming and movies to take care of, so we're good. So that's how I look at it. I ain't worried.
How'd you guys take the news when you heard it?
Kind of took it in the exact same manner. I mean, if you think about it, let's see. Daredevil season 1 came out, 2014? 15?
14.
And it was 2014, and it took them about 2 years to get a season 2. So, okay. We got to wait another 2 years for season 4 or a reboot. What's the big ish? Just like GQ said, it's not like, oh, that's the end all be all of TV shows. You got all this other shit to watch. Even if it's not Marvel stuff, you got shit to watch.
Okay.
I don't see it being a big deal. It's like, oh, that's hurting Disney. You hurt my feelings, Disney. So what? Get out of here.
The disrespect died.
I mean, straight disrespect.
That's I'm just trying to get why people freaking, like, I don't understand the mindset to where, like, okay, it's 2 years. Okay, whatever.
I mean, it's just reactionary. Like, first, you hear the word 2 years and it's just like, oh God, it's so far away. I mean, the thing is, I think people are more reactionary now than they have ever been, because, I mean, I remember a time when a little movie back in 2008 called Iron Man came out, and it pretty much set up in motion that, like, hey, eventually we're going to get a team up movie or whatever. Like, when did that be? In about 4 years? God damn it. So, but, I mean, hey, I'm pretty sure whatever the case may be, Disney has a backup plan and they'll set it in motion. I mean, let's be real. If anything that Disney knows how to do well, it's make money. They'll figure it out.
True.
Yeah, pretty much that. Until Disney does something ridiculously horrendous with the Marvel license and the Marvel characters, I'm not really worried, man. It's like, come on, it's coming back under the proper umbrella. It's going back to Marvel Studios proper, completely and utterly, with zero chance of anybody else messing with it. So I'm good, man. I have zero problems waiting. 2 years is nothing.
The head of Disney is still freaking giving him orders. He knows what he's doing.
No.
And I'm not talking about the head of the CEO. I'm talking about Walt Disney's actual head.
Head in a jar, kind of like whose head was in the jar in Futurama? Yeah, whose head was in the jar in Futurama? I forget whose head was that?
A lot of them.
Yeah, Nixon was one of them. A couple other people, but
Leonard Nimoy, I think, was another one. Yeah, go ahead.
That was the case. It'd be a little bit more racist over there at the House of Mouse.
Nixon.
It's a little bit.
You're right.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, so.
Right.
Like I said, man, Feige's doing well. Disney knows how to put money where it needs to be put. So. They're good. Like I said, they can afford to get Tom Hiddleston and Elizabeth Olsen for their own streaming shows. They can afford to do whatever they got to do with the Netflix shows.
Right. All right, so LGZ is here, joining the show. Welcome, lady. How are you?
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Good. So, this news about Disney putting Netflix. About Disney having to put Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones on the shelf for at least 2 years after their shows are canceled. What do you think about that?
I think it's just business as usual. I don't know who said I wasn't listening, but I mean I was listening, but I couldn't see it. But what they do that all the time anyway. It's like always takes like a year or 2 years, so that's like nothing. Business as usual. It'll be fine.
Now,
However,
Maurice.
I do wish that they would. I wish they would not take so long to put the shows out because making somebody when you can. Hopefully they'll do it different on the Disney streaming service because on
Mhm.
Netflix you watch the whole season in one day and then you're waiting for like almost 2 years for some new content. So it's stressful, I guess, for people that really like to watch it.
It's very stressful. I was talking to a coworker like that because if you look at network TV, most of the series start in the fall, end in the spring, right? So you got the summer with nothing, and then the fall comes again, and you got your show again. So you get your show, in that same year that it ended. Where, like you said, the Netflix shows, it's done, and then we got, oh yeah, I watched it all in one weekend, and I got to wait 2 years for some more. Granted, again, there's always something else to watch. And if you're anything like me, my back catalog for my streaming, man, woo. That's all I gotta say about that.
But that brings up a really good point, though, because it ties into what Farlow Marvel was talking about. People are very reactionary now for that very same reason. You literally, like you said, if you can watch the whole thing in one shot, now you're impatient. It's like I want more, and it's just like, dude, if this was back in the day with old school TV, like Dido said, you got to wait through the summer. You have to wait. Oh my God, you have to be patient. So I think the Netflix model, which again, it's fine. It's you watch it when you're ready to watch it, but it's giving people a lot of almost a sense of entitlement when it comes to shows, and this is like no, these things take time to make, and if they're going to be made well, they're going to take a lot of time. So I think the model has given a lot of people the thought that, oh, I want it now, and it's like, well, you ain't gonna get it now. You ain't gonna get it till it's done. So
I just wish that if they make us wait for 2 years, at least give us like 20 shows or 26 shows or something.
why?
Versus like,
Why? But
cause
why
I mean,
though?
we gotta wait for 2 years. I mean, that's a long time.
So
Give
hold
us
on.
more content.
Hold on. So you want them to drop 2 seasons at a time because that's essentially what you're asking for.
Not necessarily. A lot of TV shows are 26 episodes, especially if it's through
Like, this is
the
not,
fall to the spring. Those are
right.
26 episodes.
That's
Yeah,
So
true.
why not give us full seasons?
Okay, but this is hour-long movie quality stuff that they're putting out with these
Agreed,
Marvel shows.
and they still do it for other TV shows. So it's
Agreed.
not like they can't.
You talking about like Friends?
No, not Friends. For example, The Flash will have 21 to 26 episodes because it's on for about 20 that many weeks, and they're an hour long. Granted, they're not necessarily all movie quality because of the setting and the style that I guess is trying to portray, but it is an hour-long TV show. It is on for 20 plus weeks. They can do it. They just choose not to.
I wouldn't either. That's a lot of money to drop to let people watch in, like you said, one weekend, and then next thing you know, people are like, "Oh, I want my next one." No, you can get your next one when we're ready. So I would personally rather if they're gonna drop them closer together, 13 episode seasons, because y'all that's a lot.
If it's closer together, yeah. If it's closer together, fine. Give me 13. But if they're gonna be 2 years apart, give me them damn 26, man. Drop that 26 on me.
I had zero, especially with the fact that they had Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, they had all these other shows to go with it. I ain't giving you a whole super long amount of. You gonna have to watch every single show.
And I do.
Again, I know you do, but that's what I'm saying. It's like if I'm a production house and I'm cranking out all these different varied shows, you ain't getting long seasons. That's just not gonna happen because no. There's zero reason to do that because you have enough content to fill up an entire year.
Well, that's true. I mean, like if they tried to extend like Daredevil, whatever, like that many, like it's like, look, as opposed to a syndicated television show, there's like a difference of nearly 20 minutes. It's usually like 15 to 20 minutes difference between like a full-length show of The Flash or Arrow and a full-length episode of Daredevil or The Punisher. Like literally their whole episode is literally a whole hour.
Yeah, they're not cutting out commercial time. They're filling up the time.
Right. So like imagine like having to sit there for like a full 20 plus episode season of that, dude. That's literally like 20 plus hours of a single season. Like so it's like that's I mean for the amount that you get with the series only being like between 10 and 13 episodes, that's enough. Like it really, like seriously, is enough. Like I enjoy like some of the other content that they put out there or whatever, but it's like, I mean, it's like I really think it probably takes a lot longer for them to complete the whole TV series rather than like a movie.
And you're more than likely right in that aspect because you are getting true hours. And so, like, that literally is 13 hours of stuff where, you know, the 26 episodes or 21 or 20 what plus aren't exactly those. I mean, I get it, and I understand both sides of it. The fan in me is just, of course, clamoring for more, even if I don't watch it all in one weekend, which sometimes does happen. When it's over, I'm still clamoring for more. And I can wait because I do. I just don't like having to wait 2 years. Like, give me that 6 months in between. Give me I don't even really want a year to tell you the truth, but I just want, I don't know, like, for example, a few years ago, I wasn't really on watching the DC shows as they were on television. I have no problem waiting till the season was over and catching them all on Netflix because it is easier to get through them instead of waiting for week to week because sometimes those 20 weeks is just, way too long. And Mike Riley was saying in the chat that the longer it is, it kind of does get a little bit redundant. So like, that's how I can see both sides. I'm clamoring for more and I don't want it to be redundant where I'm like, oh, I'm not watching this. Because like, that's one of the reasons why I kind of stopped watching it week to week on TV. Because I was just like, this shit is boring. They're not doing anything. They're just like the DC shows, that is. So like seeing it on Netflix is just easier to just like, all right, they're not really doing anything. Or I can look at my phone while they're not doing anything. I can fall asleep, not miss anything. So it is a little, a little bit more with the quality versus the quantity kind of argument. And you want some more.
Because 5 episodes of Who is Savitar gets really annoying.
Yeah. True. That was very true.
That was
very true.
Plot ever.
Right.
Very
starting
true.
Starting to turn it into Namek will blow up in 5 minutes.
Yo, then she was lasting like 30 episodes.
You start to get to that level when you TV shows, and I'm like,
right. So anyway, so let's switch gears. Let's talk about the CWT the CWDC shows. Obviously, the Elseworlds crossover just ended last night with the surprise reveal that we're gonna get the Crisis on Infinite Earths next fall. Not next winter, next fall. So that's kind of like pretty big news. But let's talk about the Elseworlds. Let's talk about the Elseworlds as a crossover. What we thought about it, all the Easter eggs, what we thought about Batwoman. So I'll start with Father Marvel. Let's start with you. Well, what were kind of your thoughts on the crossover in general, and how did you like it?
I have to say that this year's crossover was probably the most enjoyable so far. My only gripe with it is that it was shorter by an episode because Legends wasn't crossover, and whatever the reasoning for that is, I mean, I guess, but I mean, even though I know Dido enjoyed that episode, but I'm that's another discussion. But
yeah, let's stay on topic.
But as far as the crossover goes, it was very much enjoyable. the guy that I don't remember the guy's name, but the person that they got playing the monitor and like setting all this stuff in motion, like I think he did really. He was a very interesting character. Like I kind of like even it's like it's kind of like the Beyonder, like when he first pops up in Amazing and the Spider-Man cartoon in the 90s a little bit. So like it kind of reminded me of that, but I think like the overall presence he gave was pretty interesting to make me think like, it's just going to be interesting to see where this goes and why he's testing them like this and all this, that, and the other. So that aspect thought it was cool. Obviously, the power switching or life switching between Barry and Oliver was indeed the highlight of the whole crossover. Like that gave us some really, really dope moments. Just overall, and it's only matched by the amount of Easter eggs you have to look for in the second and third episodes. So it's just it was this one was a lot of fun. This was definitely a lot of fun. And I can't wait to see what they do next year when it all comes to a head. So overall, only issue is that it was shorter, but overall it was probably like very, very enjoyable.
Ado?
Honestly, okay, so like for me, like I was falling in and out of love with most of the CW shows. The Flash, I've continued watching consistently. Arrow, I like stopped watching. When he started getting Team Arrow and all these people on there, I was just like, I don't know what's going on right now. And I might go back to it because it's on Netflix. I have yet to watch any Supergirl besides the first episode. And that first episode turned me off so much because my problem with Supergirl and Superman is that we as comic book fans realize how strong they are. I understand that they feel like they don't know how to write these characters without having any conflict. But as another topic, and I'm not going to go into much, watching One Punch Man again with my wife because she actually wanted to watch it, which was so awesome. But watching that with her, I realized how they should do Superman and other super. And they don't have to do him as a joke, but it's just the way they portray the character. He doesn't have to have any kind of limitations that they want to have him just to fucking push the story along. That stuff can be done with the other characters and whatnot. But regardless of that, I didn't watch it because they had the firefighters beat Livewire by spraying water.
Yeah, that one kind of really made me mad.
Oh my gosh, what the hell? So I didn't watch any Supergirl whatsoever. But I've seen all the crossover episodes that she's been in, and they've done a great job with those when they get together, which is fine and dandy. This one I thought they did a pretty good job with. But again, when it just starts to come to Superman, I just started to get irritated because it's just like this man, like he obviously has to. I was told that Superman has to. He can't walk normal, of course, because his walks literally could crack the earth, right? So when he gets hit by something, is he doing a control fall? Because he landed on top of a freaking car and it got freaking crushed. Nitpicking. Sorry.
First of all,
anyway, I'm going back. I enjoyed the what they did. You know, the seamlessness they basically had for the episodes and how they, incorporated the characters and how they actually expanded the Arrowverse. It's still going to be called Arrowverse, even though now we know that Batman does exist in it. I kind of liked how they did that. I do have little nitpicky issues, but overall, I'd give it about a B. I enjoyed it. If you haven't watched it, it's pretty much on demand, so you can go check it out.
Well, first of all, what you're talking about with Superman, it depends on which version of Superman you're talking about. If we're talking about All-Star Superman, yeah, a lot of that is true. Talking about regular base Superman, probably not. But anyway, I personally thought the trailer, the crossover was a lot of fun. Had a whole ton of Easter eggs, fan theory confirmations, like John Diggle being, the Green Lantern on Earth 90. That was wild. That one had me going. I was like, what? That's pretty awesome.
Is he gonna have a different name though? Is because John Diggle?
Is he gonna be John Stewart? Here's the thing, right? So let's take the Flash of Earth 90 for example. He's the Flash from the 90s TV show, and obviously that was Barry Allen. But the same face on a different Earth is Henry Allen. He has no powers. The same face on a different Earth is Jay Garrick, and he does have powers. So yeah, so he can literally have the same face but have a different name and have powers. So it doesn't matter. Yeah. So, but to me, I enjoyed the crossover. I don't know. To me, I kind of like last year's Crisis on Earth X better. I just felt like it was. I felt like it was a lot more adventure, a lot more fun, or not more fun, but it had more stakes involved with it, especially after the death of Professor Stein last year. I don't know. That's just me, but that's not taking anything away from this crossover. I thought this crossover was a lot of fun. It was really well done. Let's talk about Batwoman. Let's get LGZ's take in the mix. What'd you think of the crossover, and what'd you think of Batwoman?
So when I saw Batwoman, I was just like, oh, this is interesting. Okay, so I'm just gonna be honest. I didn't necessarily like the whole crossover this year. I wasn't, I mean, it had some good parts, but for the most part, it wasn't, to me, it wasn't really all that spectacular. And then when I saw at the end that we're getting the other one next fall, I was just like rolling my eyes. I was like, oh.
Oh, she sounds like she over it.
I kind of am, but I mean, I don't know. It was just, for me, it just wasn't. I mean, it was some cool points in there. Like I said, a lot. I mean, the whole Barry Arrow switch thing was really cool. I thought that was funny, but or I kind of like that. But it was, I mean, like really, I was just like under impressed, I guess, this year. I mean, I don't know. I watch them every year, so I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, I don't know. I just wasn't impressed with the whole series. But I did like the little swipe that the Legends took and whatever. And they were like, oh, you got a call from Barry Allen and this one. And now I was like, oh, must be doing the annual thing. I thought that was funny.
And it was like, that's a hard pass. Yeah, that's a hard pass. We're not going to do that. Yeah, I thought that was funny, too. You see, that's the good thing about Legends. I had to finally bring Dotto around because he was bashing Legends and he was like, this show isn't good. I was like, dude, you just watch it for what it is. It is hilarious.
Bashing it. I just said
you didn't think it was good.
It just like, okay, so for example, remember how long time ago they said they took B-list Marvel characters and turned them into A-list Marvel characters with Iron Man and whatnot? Well, the CW shows are kind of like they took their B-list characters and kept them B-list for the most part. And then they brought Legends of Tomorrow, which is like their D-list characters. And those first season, they kind of like moved them in the F list. I was like, how did you drop them down? They weren't really like, this supposed to be team up. When you get the team up, supposed to do things a little bit better. And they just didn't do it. But I continue to watch it. And it did get better once they, like you said, didn't take themselves serious. This season, they're not taking themselves serious at all.
At all. And it's hilarious.
Puppets running around.
Right. This shit is hilarious, dude.
Angels friggin'.
That whole thing was awesome. That whole thing was awesome, man. That thing was great.
Awesome because of that. Like, I love it.
Yeah, that whole thing was awesome. That Charlie's Angels thing was just hilarious, dude. Thought it was great.
Okay, this is kind of my issue because like I really didn't understand. Could you explain to me why, like, I keep forgetting her name, like, why she turned into a damn cat?
Oh, Zari?
Okay.
Why did she turn into a cat?
You didn't watch the show?
No, I watched it.
No,
I didn't understand.
It was explained.
They said it was the fairy godmother.
The fairy godmother turned her into a cat. And if it wasn't,
because certain characters weren't there, she didn't.
She never got turned back, right? Because Constantine wasn't there, she didn't get turned back from a cat. So she stayed as a cat. That was the whole thing. That's why she got turned into a cat. It was pretty cool. And
you know what, okay. Like maybe it's because I was confused at why it was happening to her since she wasn't with the core group. So like I don't know. To me, that's kind of.
But she did go out with the core group on that mission. She did go out with them. And that's why she got turned into a cat. During the fairy godmother mission, she was there. She got taken there.
I mean, that's true, but at the same time, if that would have happened, then she shouldn't have ended up on the ship with Constantine and old girl.
Why not?
Like, cause like, how would she end up like at that point in time with them if this happened to her with the fairy godmother? Like, how it's it? You know what? Never mind. It's
You trying to make sense of this thing? Really?
because at some point it did somewhat make sense. Like now it's just like
Right.
completely absurd.
Exactly. And I think the more you try and make sense of it, the more your head hurts, the less fun you have. So that was literally
all for having fun.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, I'm all for having fun, but they were just like, I don't know, a lot of the stuff was like way too much on the nose, like this year. Like it's like it felt very Deadpoolish in ways.
Right.
Like it's like they were really like taking a book out of Deadpool or one of the Warner Brother cartoons or whatever. Like it just seemed like they were just trying to be just so extra on the nose. And it took me out of it, man. Like it's getting to the point where it's getting real cornball right now.
Well, it depends. I guess it depends on what you're looking for in a show, because I think not every show can have the same tone. So with Legends,
not at all. Like right, last season, I thought had the right balance of everything. I enjoyed last season. Like honestly, that was like my number one show last season because of it being more fun, but it also kept the balance. The stakes were still there, and all of that. Like,
no, I hear you.
This season, it's like this. It's like as serious as the stakes are supposed to be. I can't take any of the stakes seriously.
Right. No, I hear you
at all.
And maybe when it comes back from a hiatus, they might fix some of that. We'll see. But let's bring it back to the crossover, because we kind of strayed far away from it. So what was you guys' favorite Easter egg that you saw or came out of the crossover this year? I know we saw the Bane mask from the Dark Knight. Now, does that mean that the Nolan verse is actually part of the Arrowverse? Is the Bruce Wayne that disappeared from Gotham 3 years ago the Christian Bale Bruce Wayne? There's a lot of unanswered questions, I guess, that we'd have to go. So, what was your favorite Easter egg that came out of the crossover this year, guys?
For me, it's definitely the Lantern Ring.
I mean, we didn't actually see it, though.
That got me with John.
But
like, you didn't see it, but it's just the fact that, once again, this was like about what, 3, maybe 4 years ago, when people were like theorizing that maybe John Diggle was actually John Stewart, and the fact that they actually confirmed that he technically is, but on a different Earth, like that got me. So it's
that was great.
I wonder if they'll ever give him a ring now.
Yeah. Like if he shows up as the Green Lantern in the Crisis, I think I'll lose it, dude. That would be incredible. That would literally be incredible. People are going to be
looking for him to receive a ring. Like that's
right.
So like for me, I think that was the one that got me. The only other one I think was probably the fear toxin scene. I actually thought that was actually pretty dope scene. So like when Oliver and Barry got affected, and they were basically like fighting each other's nemesis, and like
Merlin and
really,
Zoom,
like,
Reverse Flash,
each other's stuff. So like I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. What about you, Dido L? What were your favorite Easter eggs that you picked out? Hello.
You want to go first? I'm sorry. I thought I was freaking not that. I was talking to L there, like, hey, you want to go first? Did you want to go first? You want to go first? Because
go ahead, go.
But you want to go first? You can go first. L, go.
Like I said, I wasn't impressed.
But what was your favorite Easter egg? What was the Easter egg that you picked up on that you liked?
That's it. I didn't.
Wow, there was nothing that you saw that was like saying, "Well, okay, I recognize that." Whether it be like the Shakespeare bust from Old Wayne Manor from the Batman from the 1966 show, that didn't get you. But what about all the names that they talked about in Arkham Asylum? Once you saw them all, the RR that was on the wall of the elevator. that Kate Kane took him to in Wayne Enterprises that probably could have stood for Red Robin. I mean, there was that. I mean, come on, throw me a bone here. Nothing. Nothing.
Well, I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to think of everything that I saw, and I'm like, I don't know.
Wow. Wow.
She wasn't looking for it. So
yeah, she was like, yeah, she was eye
She
rolling through the whole thing. She was like, yeah, whatever, yeah, whatever, yeah, I don't like it, whatever. This isn't Batman v Superman, so I don't really care. It's not a big deal. I don't care.
That, I mean, the William Shakespeare bust was already used in Dark Knight Rises anyway.
Yeah. So, all right. So, Dido, what was some of your favorite Easter eggs then?
Well, you gotta be a little disappointed because I only watched it once, and I wasn't like really looking for most of the Easter eggs. The ones that stood out the most, I wouldn't say are my favorite because, like I said, I didn't really look into it because when they were passing all the doors, to me, they were going a little bit too fast. I'm sitting in a dark room. I'm sitting like 6 feet away from my TV, and the scene was kind of dark, and I just couldn't catch the freaking names fast enough. So there was one name I didn't know what it was. It was really long, and it started with a G.
There's this little button. It's called like a rewind. I think you could press it and go back.
You can rewind it, but I don't watch TV like you do, buddy. Everything is streaming, and when you stream stuff, rewinding is a hassle. Just so you know, I don't know if you know that.
Okay, all right, whatever you say.
But a little bit of a
but
hassle.
The G is Mark Guggenheim.
That there was some that stood out that I know people were friggin', probably as the youngers used to say, marking out over, like the Smallville opening. When they showed Smallville. And,
yes, the Remy Zero song. Yes.
Yeah, people were probably going quite nuts over that one. And just some of the name drops, like they were dropping pretty names left and right. I did like the whole thing that Diggle Stewart, and I agree with everybody that's out there. 2 things need to happen. Because if Ruby Rose is getting her own show, in my honest opinion, I don't hate that they're going to do a Batwoman show. But personally, I don't want them to because it just seems, again, they're not. And I understand they got all this stuff behind it, but to me, it's dumb.
Here it comes.
If you have a multi-universe,
here it comes.
You got a multi-universe. Yeah, it's going to come. I'm going to drop
here
it.
It comes.
You got a multi-universe. You don't have to focus in real life, our life, on one set of media. Don't name drop them. Don't put them in there. You got Superman. They put Superman in the show, and they're talking about doing a Superman show. They're talking about bringing back Lois and Clark or whatever the hell, and the new Superman acting the new Lois, not calling Lois Clark. They're talking about doing a new Superman. Why are we getting Batwoman, not even Batgirl, but Batwoman, which most people know nothing about? Why are we getting Batman? Seriously. And I get all the backyard.
Someone want to help with them? Somebody want to help him with this? Can somebody help him with this? I mean, because
I don't give a shit. Batman's multi-million-dollar. He ain't got to just be in a movie.
With this?
Superman ain't just in the movies. Batman's movies failed, just like Superman's movies failed. But they put Superman in the TV show. I'm gonna keep telling you.
Can you explain this to this man?
Warner Brothers doesn't want.
Can we talk about how Lois Lane was?
God damn it!
What'd you say?
Excuse me.
I did not like that actress. That's Lois.
Hey! I'm with you. Erica Durance is still the perfect Lois Lane. Didn't she though?
20 years older than him. I was like, God damn.
Nah, Superman looked like that dude from the Lazy Town, though. I'm sorry.
Robbie Rotten. Yeah, he did.
But he looks like I don't know what the character's name from Lazy
Robbie
Town.
Rotten.
But
Robbie
like
Rotten.
The same dude.
Yeah. But no, that Lois Lane, she looked horrible. Erica Durance is still like the best Lois Lane to me, the one from Smallville, even though she played Kara's mom last season on Smallville. But she's still her Lois Lane was the best Lois Lane. Like she was pretty hot. She was smart. She was sassy. It was just she had something about her. I thought her Lois Lane was pretty dope. But
they were trying to go for a Margot Kidder type,
right? And I think that wasn't that. I wasn't feeling it. That's just me.
That's a bad move.
The other thing is they'll never get a live action TV show Batman right. Kevin Conroy is way too hard an act to follow. The animated series is killing it.
And agreed, the animated series is great, but for me, and granted, I'm not a writer in Hollywood, but they can do lots of things, in my honest opinion, in order to do a good Batman show and not necessarily copy the animated series, which would be fine. You can get the freaking producers and the screenwriters and what you call it, and just instead of animate it, throw a human being in there. You could do this stuff. It's very much possible.
Okay.
Hold on. Almost done.
Okay.
Last season of fucking Gotham. Gotham sucked. Don't care. But they can freaking spin off Gotham with the young fucking Batman and just take the Arkham Origins arc and put that into the first fucking season.
First of all, I want Gotham. I want Gotham to burn to the ground. First of all, I want that thing to burn and never ever exist again.
Number one.
That's number one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number two. Let me help you out with this whole. Why can't we have Batman and all this other kind of stuff?
Why you gonna say it's so dumb? It's dumb.
No, it's not.
I'm just gonna say it.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Batman's
huge
property.
It makes sense.
Put him in there.
It makes sense.
You got John Wesley Shipp. You got freaking this Flash. You got You got fucking 15 goddamn people, universes all over the place. They can put fucking animated Batman in the goddamn Arrowverse if they wanted to. This is called the multi-infinity universe. They can do it. They just don't want to.
No. There's actually a really good reason why they don't do it. And GQ may or may not back me up on this, but here's and I'm gonna try and make some rational sense for you, right? What was the number one knock people had on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I don't know.
Number one didn't have the real characters from the Marvel.
Exactly. There was no Iron Man. Where's Thor? Where's Captain America? We want to see them. So if you give them that, right, they're not going to tune into the other characters. They're going to ignore them. They're going to ignore them.
That at all.
No,
they're going to ignore them. No, seriously.
If they're in the same fucking verse,
they're going to ignore
their universe.
Okay, so if you had a Supergirl and a Superman show on at the same time, would that not be redundant?
Look, it is redundant, but they're talking about doing a Superman fucking TV show.
They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They just like at the end of the crossover, they just gave you the reason why they're not going to do it. They just gave you the reason. They just shuffled Clark off the board at the end of the episode.
Read these articles, but our boy Eric Joseph's website was dropping articles left and right talking about they're going to do a Superman show.
No, they said they could do one.
But here's why I'm not going to back you up on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing, because they have Superman in one of their shows. And he's the top dog.
But he's not the focus.
All the top dogs. It has nothing to do with him being the focus. He's there.
He's there. And they just removed him. And they just removed him.
It does not matter. Everything you just said about they don't have Iron Man, they don't have Cap is irrelevant, because he showed up on the show as Superman. And he was Superman. So you can't use that same argument. That's like saying,
when he showed up,
that means Thor showed up too. That's not the case.
But when Superman appeared on Supergirl, they were like, well, why does she even have a show anymore? If they got a Superman actor,
that just means that their writing is garbage, because you should be able to make both of those work. There is no way that if you got both of them characters, they've coexisted for all these years now. So if the writers can do their job, then they can make both of those characters viable for two different shows. And you can write it. One gets this type of audience, one gets this type of audience. You cross them over, you got your crossover episodes, you can do what you got to do.
Right.
Batman will not work live action, because nobody has ever, outside of Kevin Conroy, has ever been able to accurately portray Bruce Wayne and Batman.
You got Scott Adkins.
Scott Adkins is probably the only person, but they won't do that. Y'all worried about whether he can act or not.
I bet you know they can put him on the TV show because they don't need.
There's that again.
Movie quality. They don't need him.
What about
movie
Ben Affleck?
Quality. So put his ass on a TV show. Give him that freaking Arkham Origins bat suit.
That could work. But here's the thing. But like I said, go look. You can look all the way back through all the Batmans we've ever had. Nobody's ever done both properly. Ever. It has never been done. Ever.
No.
Not even Christian Bale.
You just
Okay, now Hannah Omega.
I'm not wearing hockey.
And Hannah Omega brings up something. Says, "Well, Superman does not invalidate Supergirl. If that were true, then why did she ever have her own book?" Now that is true. But here's also part of the problem: Supergirl's series never sustained. They never sustain. They never last. Superman always lasts.
True.
Supergirl never does.
This is the thing, though. This is the thing, though. Like, which I think kind of counters that. See, the thing is with Supergirl, the thing is that they've set Kara up as her own individual character throughout the comic books, even to the point where they've even said that she has the potential to be stronger than Clark. Problem with that is they never followed up on it. And they refuse to follow up on it because no matter how many great feats Supergirl has, this, that, and the other, Clark always goes over. And that's kind of what comes with the problem with the show, because even as good as I think this season is, the issue is that they're trying to make Kara like Clark. That's all she is. That's all she is in the show. She's a female Clark Kent. That's it.
That's bad writing, man. That's all that is.
I'm not going to argue that it's lazy and bad writing, because it is. It really is. Like,
the producers of the show don't have a good vision, or they don't have a vision of how these things can work. Again, it goes back to, if you had a Jeff Johns sitting in the back overseeing all of this, it would probably be freaking amazing. But they won't do that because they're worried about giving up any type of control to anybody. But even back to the Batman thing, it got on my nerves with Bale, because Commissioner Gordon sitting here asking him a simple question about, after Harvey died, and it's just like nobody else is basically there. He's still using that gravelly bullshit.
To this day, I still don't get why he had to amp it up that much, because
me either. I don't get that.
The first movie was fine. It wasn't great, but it was fun.
You can understand it. Where were the other drugs going? It was like, okay, you're a little bit crazy, but at least I get what you're trying to do.
Right. But it was like after he did that, then he never turned it off. He just stayed that way.
You're talking to Gordon. You didn't live long enough to see her else. I'm like, dude, this is you, Gordon, and his kid over there who's petrified because he just saw a man get thrown off of a daggone ledge. Talk normal so he can understand what you're saying.
Ain't no talking normal.
Like it would have been awesome if somebody said just one time to the Bale Batman, it's like, can you say that again? I couldn't really understand you, like, when you were talking. Like, what?
Perfectly, because at the very end of the first one, the very end of Begins, they had a regular conversation. He's like, what about he was like, what about when they amp it up, you start using, we start wearing bulletproof vests, they start using armor piercing rounds, blah blah blah. And he's like, well, I got this one case, this one guy, he's a little bit theatrical, kind of like you, leaves a calling card. He literally said in a normal voice, he's like, I'll look into it. And you'll never have to say thank you. I'm like, dude, I can understand everything you just said. And now you get to the end of the second movie.
Yeah, it is.
You're trying to intimidate people, man. Not when you try to just regularly talk. That's why I hated Bale's Batman.
Yeah, I couldn't stand that either. Yeah.
I enjoyed the movies. Yeah, villains in the movies and more than Batman did.
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny that you say that, because I was pretty much in the same. See, up to a point, I was able to tolerate.
Where's the trigger?
And it's like, because the thing is, I was trying to tolerate it because of how good Dark Knight was.
Yeah.
But I watched it with my girlfriend for the first time together. And it's like when she started laughing hysterically after the "I don't wear hockey pads" line, it was rude.
I don't wear hockey
pads.
I had to put subtitles on because I didn't know what he said in the movie theater. I was sitting in the theater. I'm like, what did he just say? I'm like, dude, wait, what?
That's what I felt about Bane.
Hold on, did we go see that together or no? I don't remember.
I believe we did, and my issue wasn't too much what he was saying. It's just that damn. We're talking about the first one, right?
No, the second one.
No, I don't think I saw that with you because I was at a family reunion. I went to go see that with my dad.
Okay, it was somebody I was with, and I'm just like, did he just say I'm not wearing hockey pants? I literally
Right.
I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? It was
Y'all hating on Christian Bale. Y'all hating on Christian Bale.
No. Christian Bale, great actor.
No, Christian Bale is a great actor, but that voice, that voice had to go.
That should have did what they
That
did.
voice had to
in the other
go.
Batmans with the modulator.
And then they freaking doubled down and made Bane do the same damn stupid thing. Basically. Right.
The only problem was this. The only problem with Bane was they added too much bass in his voice. That's all you heard in the theater was like the bass reverb anytime they talked.
The thing is, that's what pissed me off about that movie, because I'm like, dude, what? Who mixed this? Because you heard it in the theater versus when they actually finally released it on Blu-ray and fixed it. I'm like, dude, this night and day. Like, you couldn't even understand.
And the worst thing about it is that he had the most quotable lines in that movie, and they messed up.
Yeah.
And it's like,
when I was young, my mom used to make spaghetti. Because I was this well.
I will not take anything away from Tom Hardy because he did an outstanding job.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
He's like,
y'all got me crying over here. Y'all funny.
Yes, he did.
The truth is hilarious.
It's the truth, man.
Like, why are you wondering why someone would shoot a man? Like, okay.
It is the absolute truth. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it was great.
No, the other thing that pissed me off about that movie was I love the fact that they shot it in IMAX. Love it.
Yeah.
Huge, giant opening. The opening was amazing. You get to certain scenes and they cutting back and forth between IMAX and Letterboxd. IMAX and Letterboxd. I'm like, dude, Nolan, pay the extra money, shoot the whole damn movie in IMAX, please. That was, oh my God, that was getting on my nerves. It was just disgusting. They literally cut from IMAX to Letterboxd in the same shot. Go back and watch that movie. And when they finally catch up to where Bane is at, so that he's gonna have his first throwdown with Bane. Catwoman shows him where he's at. And they literally have the gate closed down in IMAX. When it hits the ground and he's captured, it switches to Letterboxd in the same shot. I'm like,
oh wow, that's really bad. Oh wait, no, I think I remember that. I think I remember that. Yes, I remember that.
They'll shoot the whole scene in IMAX.
It was like wasn't it like when Batman like started like getting on the bridge? It was like it switched to Letterboxd.
It was literally like what did she say? She said something about I gotta keep them from trying to kill me or whatever.
Yeah, like she closed the gate. She closed the gate behind him. Yeah, I think wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's like oh, you made a serious mistake. And it was like by the time he says that, it's Letterboxd again. I'm like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, like, y'all literally do this as a reshoot because I literally watched the gate come down and I watched it switch to Letterboxd all of a sudden. Did you just decide that the IMAX camera ran out of film?
Right.
I was mad. I'm like, oh my God, dude, they're not doing this. It was disgusting.
I do remember that.
Got it, though.
I do absolutely remember that.
That's crazy.
I do remember that. Oh my God, it's so much fun. So much fun.
Serious is yours. I fear. Everybody, yeah.
Hey, I want a Bane talking box like they had the Vader talking box. I want a Bane one.
Doing his voice actually is not hard. It's not. You just gotta practice it. But a Bane talking box would be kind of sweet though.
That would be pretty fun. I have to admit that would be pretty fun. But the Crisis obviously is going to be coming next year, even though that's not what we were talking about. I'm very much looking forward to what might end up happening next fall when the Crisis does eventually come about, because I think the possibilities are endless. Like, we thought they got crazy this year. I think they'll get insane next year, like with like the different versions of Superman. Because like, you imagine, right? They could bring Dean Cain's Superman out of the mothballs and bring him out, and pair him with the no,
it won't happen.
I mean, no, they could do it. They literally could do it. They could bring the Terry Hatcher, Lois Lane out of retirement too.
They're gonna put him on the workout plan and her on some Botox.
Something. She halfway there already. What are you talking about? She could be there, and then
her last,
maybe they could finally get the whole.
Her last big appearances was in Tomorrow Never Dies, and she wasn't looking all that hot.
Right. And then they also could have like Tom Welling come from Smallville. That could be cool. Maybe get Mike Rosenbaum to be Lex Luthor and be that Alexander Luthor that figures very heavily into the Crisis. I don't know.
I'd be behind that. I would
too. I agree. I would be behind.
I mean, literally, they could do a lot of really crazy stuff come next fall with the Crisis and stuff like that. And it's not like Stephen Amell doesn't know Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum, because he does partner with them on that wine thing. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to get out of here. We spent a lot of time, went almost an extra half hour because we were having so much fun riffing on the Dark Knight and Christian Bane and all that stuff. But also I wanted to make an announcement. Today there was a signing at Vault of Midnight Detroit. The brand new release. We know Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse comes out this Friday, and the brand new release of Miles Morales' new ongoing comic book, Miles Morales Spider-Man #1, just came out today. We have 3 copies signed by the writer Saladin Ahmed. I put him up on the show. Hopefully he actually was watching us tonight, and if he is, we want to shout out to you. You're doing a great work. But we're gonna put together a contest. We're gonna give away those over the course of the Christmas holiday leading up to the New Year's. So want to make sure that you stay tuned to the Culture Junkies channel right here on Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter, or on YouTube, and so you can find out all the details. So definitely be on the lookout for that. So for all of my friends, GQ, LGZ, Fallen Marvel, and the Great Daitakuji, I'm Kashir. We're gonna see you guys next week for our last show of the year. I think we're gonna put us on hiatus for Christmas and New Year's. But for the last show of the year is gonna be next week, Wednesday. We're gonna talk about a lot of really fun stuff. Maybe we'll go over like the greatest Christmas movies that you gotta watch or something like that. Die Hard is gonna be on a lot of people's list, I'm sure, right? A lot of people are gonna have Die Hard on their list. I mean, really, can you really consider Die Hard a Christmas movie? Come on, man. Really?
Like, if we ever get a chance, we have to talk about that Sonic the Hedgehog motion poster reveal.
Look, man, I don't know why you brought that up. Look, man,
big ass eyeball no more.
I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that unless they're gonna have Uganda Nuggets on there.
If we have to talk about that, like casting a new,
I don't want to talk about that.
We have to talk about Sonic.
Man, I don't want to
talk about video game movies. That's nerdy stuff, man.
Yeah, good night, guys. Good night, guys. This is gonna be so much garbage. That's gonna be so much garbage. I don't want to talk about that. Really, I don't want to.